Good afternoon. This is a video blog titled Salve Varus, Salve Arminus. So 2,000 years ago, roundabout, the Romans had nominally subjugated the Germania between the Rhine and the Elbe, and Quintus Punctilius Varus was currently in charge, and he was roaming around. It's getting towards the end of the campaign season, Septemberish. Not want to be hanging out in the cold. Heading back, he got word of a uprising. He went south towards the finger of hills that we call the TWpart1. And though he'd gotten word of maybe a little disloyalty, maybe he shouldn't be trusting his local auxiliaries so much, he continued to follow his buddy Arminius, and they eventually kind of hooked a right, so they're heading west, the mountains, hills really, on their left side. And one night, Arminius and the Germans disappear. Next day, Romans get slaughtered. 3 legions, camp followers, all dead. And it's not often that you get a nice round number like 2,000. So as I was down in Stuttgart, I of course said, I've got to go do this. I'd actually been looking forward to it for a couple of years. It's a good thing about calendars. We know when things are coming. So I had planned to come up, and then had the double fortune of having to be up in Hamburg for a wedding. Not mine. So I was here and was able to abuse my girlfriend's mother's car, and she and I drove south on the 9th of September. We stopped in a town called Ebsdorf, having visited the Heide, which is beautiful heaths, if they're in bloom. If not, they just look like Alaska, which is also beautiful. We had a nice evening, saw our friend and her boyfriend. Too many pronouns, I know, that's how it goes. We went dancing. It's amazing how quickly you can learn the tango, foxtrot, cha-cha-cha, jive, and waltz in one evening. So we got up on the 10th. Of course, we always planned to leave early, and that never really seems to work out. It's just so comfortable in bed. So so at about 10:30, excuse me, we get on the road. Now, up to this point, getting to Lynn's house is easy. Francie knows where it is. And it's just a straight shot from the 7 out of Hamburg. But kind of diddling around between Detmold and Osnabrück, finding the Denkmal and the battlefield. Need a map. Of course, we didn't have a map. We had a navigation system. Now, I'm not a big fan of navies. I find that they make you weak, and they leave you, at the mercy of this mechanical voice who knows all, sees all. Fortunately, like everything in life, it's garbage in, garbage out. So I had played with the navi in the morning, set it up to go to Detmold, and as I'm looking at it, I like to overview the route usually. I have a map, I look at it, different ways, different ins and outs, where we're going to go. Can't really do that on a navi. I was able to zoom out, and it looked like, okay, this is taking us over here, going to the highway and Autobahn south. Perfect, great. Sounds plausible. So then looking at it, and of course notice the Lynn kind of lives at the point of a V. And I know from the night before that going on essentially if you're looking at the point of the V, going on the right side of the V is the faster way to go, but the navvy, of course, is going on the left side. So I'm immediately, just confirming my distaste of technology. So I turn around. And we go the other way. And immediately the navvy recalculates and sends us off. So I'm following it, kind of following along the map, not particularly. Not really worried. We're in no rush. Which is good, because we're on the scenic route. And we're driving, and it's kind of like, hey, should I be coming to an Autobahn soon? What is the deal? We try to zoom out, but we turn it on to 3D view, and you can't zoom out in 3D view. Not much, anyway. So, again, we're not in a rush, so we're enjoying the countryside. It's very nice. You got all these trees growing over the road. Pastures outside. Not too many crazy drivers. We're making fine time. And so, as we're approaching Hanover, at various points I kind of complain about this route. God damn, why don't we go to Autobahn? This is ridiculous. And we had a couple theories kicking around. One was, we're kind of in an Autobahn hole. You got one coming south, and you got one coming like this, and we're just kind of over in a hole. So you just kind of get through the hole. All right, maybe I'd selected, the shortest route, which obviously puts you onto the trails and byways. But again, we're not in a rush. We're not fiddling with it too much. We're making time. So we start to pass Hanover. We're on the 191. Get around the B3, which is a 2-lane baller, which is better. So, again, happy. Blasting along. And all of a sudden it tells us to zoom off over to the left. And it's kind of like, what? I'm on a perfectly good road. I'm heading towards an Autobahn. And where are you sending? So finally I can't take it anymore. I just stop. Crack open the navvy. Go to route options. And what do we find? Of course, Autobahns has been deselected. So we're on the don't take any Autobahn selected route. Thereby clarifying why the heck we had been, seeing all the scenery. And of course I get to have a nice little fit of rage. Try to do it myself. Directed at, damn navigation systems of the world. Crap in, crap out. So we got to fix up, and now we're blasting along. Much better to get on Autobahn. We're actually making some good time. And get to Detmold. Now Detmold is the home of the Hermann Denkmal monument. Hermann, of course, is the German version of Arminius. Arminius being the Latin version of Hermann, which of course the Germans wouldn't use, although it is a bit fun to pause and think of some guy running around trying to rally people and constantly answering to Hermann. Hey Hermann, or when are we going to have a revolution? I don't know. I've seen it pan out for him, at least for a few years.